All right, I'm about to start putting out a new type of video on Mondays. It's going to be called Monday Morning Motivation. These videos are not going to be like showing us loading units or anything like that. I mean, they will pertain to resale, but they'll also pertain to just about anything and everything in life, just kind of motivational videos about, starting businesses, hard work, the American dream, and everything that comes with it. The best time to go after any of your goals and dreams is always now. When is the best time to start a new business, a new podcast, a new YouTube channel, a new website, or whatever it is, that's your dream, whatever it is that your goal, whatever it is that you want to do in your life that, that you've been thinking about doing, that you've been dreaming about, had a vision for, whatever the case is, when is the best time to start with this new business, with this new venture, with this new idea or a new plan for your life? And the simple answer to that is now. I mean, you can think about it, you can plan, you can do research on it, which all that stuff is good. It's good to kind of research, get an idea. You don't want to just completely go into something 100% blind, obviously. You want to know a little bit about it, but some people, they will research and they will plan and they will think about it for days, months, years, or their entire life and never actually do anything about it, never actually take the first step toward actually achieving any of these goals or giving anything a try or starting anything new. They will work in a job that they hate for their whole entire lives and wake up every morning and wish that they weren't going where they're going. And even though they spend the majority of their life, the majority of their time going to this job or doing this thing, and they will hate it. It's like going, it's like prison to them. And all they look forward to is Saturday and Sunday, and really not even Sunday, because about half the day through Sunday, then they're thinking about, because I hear people, oh, I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. And, so they live for Friday night and Saturday, and the majority of their time, the majority of their week, which is the majority of their life, they don't look forward to, they don't enjoy, but they can't quite bring themselves to, take a step to go in another direction. And a lot of times, it's just that fear of the unknown, risk, because sometimes there's risk involved and they just don't want to take, any kind of risk. And sometimes just procrastination, people just procrastinate. Everybody, to an extent will procrastinate. But some people will procrastinate for a few days on something like, like starting idea, getting the, starting a business, or an idea, and getting the ball rolling. And some people will procrastinate for years, or like I said, the rest of their life, and never ever even come close to doing anything, that pertains to that dream, or, starting a business, or whatever the case is. Like when I was researching, before I started this YouTube channel, I kind of watched a few videos on starting a YouTube channel. And typically the people that have the videos about starting a YouTube channel are ones that have YouTube channels. Well, I mean, obviously, because I'm watching their video. So they're already doing it. And every single one of them, gave a few tips and everything, but every single one of them had the same thing to say. The first thing to do is to start, just to do it, make a video. And and that's true. Once you make that first video, you kind of, you learn some stuff, and you just kind of get in the action. Oh, I can do it. You're gonna make mistakes, and it's not gonna be perfect. But that's with anything you do. Some people, I think, they want to do research and practice, and get to that point where when they start, it's gonna be perfect. But that's pretty much impossible. And with anything that you do, and the only way you're really going to learn and get better at it is through trial and error. Because some people, they want to know every single thing and take away all the risk, take away all of the potential to fail or have setbacks, in hopes that when they start doing whatever it is they're doing, it's all going to go 100% smooth, because they're scared to fail. They're scared to have anything go wrong, anything negative happen. So they're waiting so they can 100% know everything, how to do it perfectly without having any mistakes or whatever, and it's just not going to happen. You're gonna make mistakes, and I guess a lot of people, when they first start doing something, as soon as they start making mistakes, as soon as they have their first setback, then they give up. So many people, they give up, very, very quickly when they start something. They never really start it. But best time to start something is now. Once you start doing it and you start rolling, then you put some action out there, then stuff starts to happen. If there's never any action, then you're not going to move anywhere. But as soon as you start putting some action, into whatever it is you're doing, and moving and actually taking steps, and then stuff's going to happen. That's just like if you want to exercise. The only way to start exercising is you're not going to just come up off of the couch and start doing it. Somebody else can't take your arm and start moving your arm and making you lift weights or whatever. I mean, you're gonna have to do it yourself, and you have to make that initial movement, which is just standing up, moving off the couch, and putting some energy and kinetic energy into your body, and some action, and making stuff happen. Same thing with the business. You gotta make something happen. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm waiting to save up all this money to start doing this. Another thing besides the research, they think money is an issue. Many times, you do need to save up some money, but you gotta start doing something, especially when it comes to the resale business. It's like there's so much stuff out there for free that you can get and resell. It may not be the greatest stuff all the time, but at least you're getting, you're putting some action out there, and you're learning, and you're getting a little bit of an education, and you're learning about sales channels. You're learning about, the whole process of selling, and without doing that, you're not learning anything at all. You're just sitting there playing waiting to save money. And the other person over here that's starting out doing whatever they can, their learning curve is going up like this, and you're still down here. You're doing research, but they're getting that hands-on, training that you can't, nothing else can replace it, that hands-on training. And look, I'll kind of go over how we started out real quick and the steps that we took. We started out just selling, basically just having yard sales and selling, just to kind of get a taste of it. And we learned very, very quickly, and I started to see very quickly that I could make a business out of it, because I saw the numbers and I knew I could do this. I could take it up, step by step, up more levels, and eventually I could do this full time. I was working at Lowe's at the time, and I began to see every day that went by there that that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to work for some big company. I wanted to do my own thing. And so we're selling at yard sales, and then we start selling. We got booths at a thrift store, and we're selling at the thrift store. We're paying booth rent, and we're selling stuff. And like I said, I can see more and more. I was like, this would work. I've just got to take that next step and somehow find some space that we can rent to run some kind of warehouse, store, whatever, because I'm buying storage units, and the more space you have, the better, because you get so much stuff out of these units. So eventually, I'm kind of looking around online, and I'm seeing warehouses and buildings, but, most of the ones that are online are being run by, big property management companies, and they're going to do credit checks, and they're wanting all these deposits and different stuff. And I didn't really have much money at the time. Didn't know if they started looking, trying to do credit check, because I had no history of renting a building or nothing, if I'd even be able to get into a building. So I just started driving around one day, through business parks and everything, and looking for rent signs. And I found a building, it had a for rent sign in the window, called the number. The guy was really nice, and he happened to be in the building. There was multiple businesses there. He was the landlord, so his business was a few doors down. And I was like, well, when can you meet? He said, I can meet right now. And I said, well, good, I'm right outside the building, sitting here in my car. So we met, we kind of got a deal figured out, and it worked out great for us. But it was still, I went from nothing, no business or no rent or whatever, to all of a sudden I've got rent to pay, and I've got to get a light bill and a water bill and insurance and all this stuff. So it was a big step and a big risk and a lot of unknown, but it was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking. But I just had faith that me and Leah, my wife, that we could make it work, and it would be the best thing for us in the long run. And we got in there, and stuff was going. We kind of got it running pretty smooth in this one little section of the building. The section beside us became available, so then talked to the landlord, and we were able to move into that, or take that over too, like double our space, which was a lot more rent, bigger power bill, all that kind of stuff, more responsibility. But I knew we could sell more and overall make more money. And at first, it was a little bit tough, but we ended up making that work. Then the spot on the other side of the original space became available, and we ended up taking that over. It was another big step, and wasn't always perfect at first, but we made it work, and we got that running smoothly. Then we took over a building behind that building to use as extra space. So I had all three of those into one space, then a building behind that, a separate landlord, but it was right next to our building that we were using for storage space, which was a big step. Then we kind of maxed out on that, and I'm like, okay, started looking for something bigger, something, so we could take it to the next level. And found it, okay, that was 6,000 square feet total on our actual selling area, and then another 2,000 on the space that we were just storing in, so 8,000 square foot. Then I hear about this building close by. It's 18,000 square foot, so more than double the amount of space we have right now, that it was available. And I knew the landlord because he owned a storage facility, and I'd been to his auctions, and I'd kind of got to know him. So I contacted him, and we ended up moving into that building, and it was, once again, way more rent, way more, power bill was huge. And the thing is, every time you go into these new buildings, you gotta, at least the power company we were using, you had to put another deposit down, and some of these deposits were huge, like several $1,000s, and it was like huge coming up with that amount of money, and coming up with the rent money, and getting internet hooked up, and the water turned on, all that stuff. And it was just like a lot of money, and kind of scary and stuff. But I had a vision, I had a dream, and I knew we could do it. And Leah, my wife, she'd kind of, she was just kind of like, she'd look a little bit worried, and I was like, I know we can do it. And she'd be like, whatever you think we can do. She trusted me and believed that that we could do it. So she just, she not followed me blindly, but she just had faith that that I was going to take care of this, and I was going to make the right decision for us. And she's my business partner, and she pretty followed along, and whatever I was going to do, she was going to do, whether we were going to fail miserably and end up whatever the case happened, she was going to follow along with me. And and that was awesome, because I knew she had faith in me that I was going to take care of our family. But we did it together, and we took a lot of risk, a lot of perceived risk. It was a little bit risky, but calculated risk, I guess you could say. But every time we do it, there was more risk, and there were people we knew and stuff that I could tell were kind of nervous for us and worried about us and stuff. But we always made it work. And every time we do a new one, you'd have a learning curve. It'd take a minute to get it rolling. And once we were there for a while, we'd kind of get the space and that new amount of space figured out, and kind of get it rolling and get adjusted to it and get everything running smooth. And there's been several other, smaller steps and stuff where I've, financial, like risk, you say, investing, putting money in one area, or just making changes, going in new directions several times. But I just kind of had faith that I was making the right decision, trusted that God was, leading me in the right direction, and, just took a leap of faith. Many times, and always worked out. I didn't do completely stupid and blind stuff, but every time I did, a lot of people, not to say, to brag or anything, but a lot of people would have just been frozen where they're at and scared to do anything. But I just kept, after the first couple of times, I just knew it's like, you just got to take a step. You're never going to have that perfect situation, I guess, and $1 million in the bank. Well, for most people anyways, where it's just going to be easy and smooth. If you want to jump to that next level, like take yourself from here to there, you're going to have to just step out there and do it. So if you're thinking about starting a business, thinking about a new venture, a YouTube channel, podcast, anything online like that, or a new website that you've been thinking about creating, but you're like, oh, it's not going to work, the best time to start any of that stuff is always now. Don't wait. You can still do planning, you can still save money, but start doing something now. Take some small steps to go ahead and start and get your feet wet and start learning. But if you don't start by doing something and put some action out there, then you may wait forever and it may never ever happen, and you'll be an old person sitting there thinking, I should have done this, I should have done that, and it'll be too late at that point. So best time to start, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, whatever your dreams are, whatever your vision is, whatever your idea is, the best time to start it is right now. Alright, if you like this video, you want to see more like it, videos on reselling, storage auctions, thrifting, and all that kind of stuff, then hit the like button, put a comment on this video, and hit the subscribe button. We're going to be putting out a lot more videos.